Hello everyone, this is Buzz Stone checking in with episode number 7 of AirWaves. And today I've got a treat for you. This is kind of a rare radio. It's a model 884 VHF FM backpack radio, Chinese made. And what we'll do is here, I'll give you a description of the radio and show you on the table here. I've got all the accessories that came with this radio, of course the radio itself, and what I'll do is go through a brief summary of the radio, then we'll zoom in and take a closer look. But this Chinese military portable radio's full name is Type 884 VHF FM Battalion Company Level Transceiver. It was designed for communication between Battalion HQ and its companies. It had a predecessor with the model 883, which was a tube radio, but the 884 was the replacement for it. The 883 came out in the early 60s. This was developed in the late 60s. Now, this newly developed radio, the 884, it was the first full solid-state radio China developed in its class. It got its certificate from military in early 1972. The 884 radios were supplied to Vietcong in large quantity in the early 70s, even before the Chinese Army received the radio. They were widely used by both sides of the 1979 border conflict between Vietnam and China. And the 884 radio operates within the 45 to 50 megahertz range in a single continuous band. Now, I will tell you there is some overlap in here with the amateur radio 6-meter band. I have had this radio on before and was able to pick up some stations in that range. I don't have a battery for it at the moment, so I can't turn it on to see if we could pick up something. But it also has an adapter that comes with it. You can power it with regular D-cell batteries. But it could have 51 channels in that 45 to 50 megahertz range if the spacing between the channels is 100 kilohertz. It has 2 modes of operation, FM and CW. The radio itself measures 260 by 220 by 90 millimeters. It weighs 5.5 kilograms with batteries. It uses a 1.5 meter whip antenna. It operates within the 11.5 to 18 volt DC range, and the output power is 0.75 watts. Now, with the supplied 1.5 meter antenna, the operation distance is 2.5 kilometers for voice and 5 kilometers for telegraph under normal battlefield conditions. I got this on eBay. It's been, oh gosh, probably 12 years ago. It came in a factory sealed plastic bag. It was brand new. It also comes with 2 pieces of the 1.5 meter whip antenna. It also comes with a wire antenna that's 10.5 meters in length. It has 2 sets of headsets, the radio backpack, and accessories carrying bag. You see that there on the right. And some accessories. It was built in 1972, and all the controls, connectors, and displays are on the top of the radio. It has analog tuning and display with a tuner lock. The main switch on the left has 4 positions, has calibration, voice with AFC, and voice without AFC, and telegraphy. There's also a simple telegraph key on the right. That's on the lower right corner there. There's no power switch on the radio itself. There is also no volume control on the radio. Now, the 1.5 meter whip antenna is called a fishbone antenna because it has, it looks like the spine of a fish there, the way it's put together, which makes it very flexible and easy to fold for carrying. It also has a 3-section extender on the tip. Now, as I mentioned, it doesn't have a power button on the radio. The headset and the handheld microphone are built into one set, and the radio power switch is actually built into the microphone handhold. This enabled the operator to turn on and off the radio without reaching back to the radio body. Normally the radio is powered by a single 12-volt battery, 13-volt battery, plus 4 D dry cell batteries. It also could be powered by 13 D batteries, which is the way I powered it. Battery holders for D batteries are included in the accessories. The 884 uses one 13-volt battery plus 1 D battery to operate normally. Another 1 D battery is for the dial light. 2 more D batteries are for the emergency usage. And on top of the radio there's a power switch between normal and emergency. When the battery voltage drops beyond normal operation requirements, power switch could be used to turn could be tuned to emergency, which adds the 2 backup D cells into the circuit. This could also put the radio in operation again for a short time. Now the 884 radio comes with a range of accessories. You see them laid out there on the table. Other than the extra antenna and an extra headset, it comes with one 10.5 meter wire antenna. You see that coiled up. It's at the very base of the radio. We'll zoom in closer here in a little bit. It comes with a screwdriver, a brush, an extra dial lamp. Actually, it came with, I think, 5 extra dial lamps. It came with some extra rubber covers for the telegraph key. It came with 2 replacement PPT relays, 2 pieces of ground wire, and the user manual, which is in the lower right corner there on a table, which of course is in Chinese, although it does have a very nice schematic diagram in the back, which is useful. The operation for the radio is pretty straightforward. The sound level is comfortable, although lacking a volume control. The AFC function works very well. You don't even need to fine-tune a dial. Selection sensitivity is pretty good. As I mentioned, the full name of this radio is a Type 884 VHF FM Battalion Company level transceiver. So we'll zoom in here now and I'll give you a closer look of the radio and what it comes with. Okay, here we are zoomed in on the top of the radio, and you'll see there all the controls. As I mentioned, it has the built-in telegraphy key right here, so you could send Morse code using this radio. Gave it a little greater range. The whip antenna, which is called a fishbone, and you'll see why. See how it comes in those little sections, and then it has a cable that runs through there and runs on out. Another neat thing I thought about this radio, that the lid there has a white vinyl covering, and that was made so that you could use a grease pen and you could write down frequencies and call signs on there. So it made it easy for the radio operator to remember what frequencies and call signs they were using on their operation. Let's see if we can zoom in right there on the left. That glass, round glass, that's the viewing lens for the frequency. This black switch right here, that's the BFO, beat frequency oscillator adjustment. There's the telegraphy key. Of course, all of the labeling on the radio is in Chinese. This switch right here, this is the high and low power switch. Now this right here is the plug for a test unit. Would plug into here so you could test the radio. This is an indicator light here. Let's see, this down here is the function switch, and it has a screw down lock on it to keep it in place. And then of course this right here is your microphone and headset. If we follow this on down, here's your headset, and contained in the same wiring is the microphone. And here's your microphone key switch, and this is the power switch here that turns the radio on and off. Now this radio did come with an English translation of what all the functions of the radio were, which was very helpful. Without this, I'd have probably been lost. Here's the long wire antenna that also came with it. Now that could give you extended range with the radio if you extended that up, say up into a tree. These are ground wires. Here's the ground wire post, screw down post right here. Came with some tools, a Phillips and a standard screwdriver, also a brush. Those are the PPT relays. Those are the extra light bulbs. It even came with 2 replacement potentiometers. And here's that Chinese manual that came with it. Of course, it's all in Chinese, but like I say, it does come with a nice schematic diagram in the back here if you need to do repairs. I actually, I almost forgot, this is the carry bag that carries all of the accessories. I actually purchased 2 of these radios originally and did set them up and used them and was able to communicate back and forth. I only tested them out to about a quarter mile apart, but they worked fine. I had a friend who owned a military surplus store, and when he found out I had one of these, he had to have one because he had a kind of a little museum in his store, and he wanted one for display. And like I say, these were brand new when I received them from eBay. If memory serves me correctly, I think I paid somewhere around $85 for each of the radios. I bought one first, and once I got it and saw that it was a nice radio, I went ahead and ordered a second one. The price had changed a couple dollars, but it was in the $80-something range, which is not bad at all for a brand new man-pack style radio. So there you have it. That's the Chinese model 884 VHF FM. They call it backpack radio. And just thought you'd like to have a look at it. Kind of a rare piece of history used during the Vietnam War by the Vietcong. And then later, when Vietnam and China had their border clash, both sides were using this radio. But definitely a cool piece of military history. This is Buzz. You're viewing AirWaves. We've got more on the way. Remember to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you down the dial.